review, discuss, and reimagine popular movie lists objectively. We're your hosts. I'm Brad.
I'm Jerry. And today we're going to discuss Brad's number 19 on his top 20 list. Number 19 is Casino, released in 1995, directed by Martin Scorsese, written by Nicholas Pileggi and Martin Scorsese. Editor is Thelma Schoonmaker, starring Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, and Joe Pesci. This movie is about Sam Rothstein is put in charge of the Tangiers Hotel in Las Vegas by the Italian Mafia. He is joined by his longtime friend Nicky Santoro, a brutal but efficient gangster. After his arrival, all descends into chaos as Sam's career, marriage, and character are put on the line. All right. So I think that you like this movie. I think you have a little in your heart. You have like a little space for Martin Scorsese.
I like Martin Scorsese.
Yeah. Not that I don't, because I love him too. But of his ginormous portfolio, this is one of his best, yeah. I think. And I think that's why you have it on the list. Because you're not a big, gangster mafia person.
I'm not.
Which is interesting since you're a fan of Scorsese. Because a lot of his movies are like that. But I think you like it. Again, flawed people. Mm-hmm. Very flawed people. Mm-hmm. Some likable characters, some not likable characters. The story is very, very interesting. Based on the true story. You like that as well, I think. You like truer than not stories.
Yeah, I like historical fiction.
Yeah.
I do.
So yeah, this is based on really how Las Vegas came to be. It was basically run by the mob, which is crazy to me that really happened.
Well, I mean, you've got a couple interesting cities in this country.
Yeah.
Chicago or Miami was built with cocaine, and Vegas was built with gangster money. So.
Yeah. So very, very interesting. Another reason why I think you liked it is how well it is filmed. It's a 3-hour movie, but it doesn't feel that way. It's got a really good pace behind it. And it's just, you see the slow descent of these people and how, things start just tapering off on their success and, their character, really.
Yeah.
I also think Scorsese is really, really good at period pieces. He's good at capturing the feel and the moment in time. This took place, I think, in the late 60s, early 70s, 80s.
I think it's like the late 60s to rolling up to about
83, I think. I think it was 83. And so he, captures with costuming, with the look of Vegas. You see the progression of time. You see the progression of Robert De Niro, Sammy, Robert De Niro's character, how he, kind of goes from glamour to, his home. The way he's got his home decorated is very date orientated. So I think a lot of the reason why you like this movie is just how well done it's made.
So, what was your takeaway this time on it versus earlier version?
I'm trying to think. I don't remember the last time I saw this movie. I'm gonna say it was either. I think it might have been with my dad. Story checks out. I think at the age that I watched it, I really didn't have the patience to watch this kind of movie. You know what I mean? I just, it was long and I don't think I had the attention span for it. I'm being honest. But now I could really appreciate the performances, the storyline. One thing that I took away from it watching this time that I found actually pretty annoying was the voiceover.
Really?
There is a lot of freaking voiceover in this movie. There was heavy voiceover for the first hour.
Yeah.
And then it was still through the whole movie, but not as much. And I think I got annoyed with it after a while. I feel like I can understand why it was in there because it explains like how things worked. But honestly, I really feel like you could have just done that in a brief beginning.
I think that is a classic issue with several of his movies, including Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Is I don't think that you necessarily need it in there. To me, it's kind of a crutch.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And
I think it's lazy.
It's not only just that, but it's kind of like I don't trust my audience to get what I'm trying to do.
Yes. Yeah. I think I think it would have been fine if he just said, "Okay, this is Rothstein. This is what he's doing."
Or just type in like a couple point like if I think it's used much better in Goodfellas.
Yes. Yeah.
Where when he pipes in, it's really on some background thing that you wouldn't get from the filmmaking. And I think this one, it's like, it's kind of in there, Marty. You don't need it.
Yeah, and it was just like, I just thought it was excessive. Yeah. And I got tired of it after a while. Because it's like, yeah, I know, I'm seeing it. You know, like I don't need you to tell me what I'm seeing. Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably the takeaway that I had most recently too, is like, I think he fell on that a little too much. The reason I have this one in versus like Goodfellas is it's really like the casino stuff. I'm a Vegas reg, so
yeah.
I know a lot about like the history of Las Vegas, and you learn more all the time about stuff. It's a really fascinating city in a lot of ways. It's almost like cities in Europe, which are so old that like, you got a city built on top of a city on top of a city. Like, the first time I went to Las Vegas was sometime in the mid 90s. And between that 30 years ago and now, I would dare you to find another city in America that looks more different from what it was 30 years ago than Las Vegas.
Well, and even in the movie at the end, the voiceover talks about...
And that's just, that to me, that is a good use of voiceover. Is that
where they're like, now it's more like Disneyland where people just come in and yeah, that was good. But the rest of it was just not needed.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, that's kind of because they're, in a lot of ways, they're the same movie. And I personally, I have more affinity towards Rothstein than, what's his name?
Nicky?
No. The character in Goodfellas, it's escaping me.
But
I
can't remember his name.
Ray Liotta's character in Goodfellas, it's escaping me at the moment, but that character I find mostly unlikable. Sam Rothstein I find much more likable because
he was really good at his job.
That's another thing, is I really, really gravitate towards stories that have characters with people who are excellent at their jobs. Yeah, I really, really dig that. Yes, I'm not a big fan of dumbasses. Yeah, so people that are like really good at their jobs are interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree. There was a lot of classic Scorsese things in here. One thing that I noticed is that which I don't think a lot of directors use, is the fast camera movement. Like, you see James Woods' character, right, who plays like Sharon Stone's sleazy, like on and off romantic interest. Pimpish boyfriend. Anyway, they're in this restaurant and they're talking, and she's just like giving him like $20,000 of Rothstein's money. And and he's basically calling Rothstein a schmuck, like, he doesn't know, blah, blah. And you hear the door open of the restaurant, and the camera goes right over to Rothstein, and then right back to James Woods. Like, oh fuck,
that's Thelma Schoonmaker. That's her editing style. She has edited, I think, every single one of his movies.
Well, it's really effective that he uses that.
Yeah, she's this little tiny Jewish woman.
Yeah, so it's that, and there's always like little niches of chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's the scene when Sharon Stone's character starts just depleting and drugs and everything, and she comes into the house and she wants to get what she's owed before he comes in the house. Like, she's got the cops letting her into the house, and she finds the keys to the deposit box and stuff. And she's like, don't let him in here. No, you don't let him get to me. But it's just so chaotic.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, what's happening? And he really has an effect on that. He also, when there's a chaotic time happening, he ups the volume on the music. So, like, there's some sort of, like...
Not only that, but the music tends to be something that's more up-tempo.
Yes.
Than other stuff.
Yes.
He's always used music.
Yeah, he uses music really well.
He does.
Yeah, I do like that. You really get the feel of the love he has. We noticed this when we watched Raging Bull. The character that Robert De Niro played and Joe Pesci played, there was a love-hate relationship, right? Yes. They hated each other, really, but they loved each other. And I think these two in this movie have that same dynamic.
I would say I would agree with that, but not to that kind of chaotic effect. Because I think the personality types are a little more flip-flopped. Where, like, Jake LaMotta is just, like, he pushes everyone away. I don't think Rothstein so much pushes Sammy away. It's more of, like, he's that friend that you had that, like, you kind of have grown out of because he hasn't grown up too. He's the same guy he was when you were kids.
Yes.
Doing the same stupid shit, but now you're too old to be doing stupid shit. Like, when they're first there, it makes sense. But at some point, like, Rothstein's like, dude, I'm a casino executive. I am well respected in this town. And you're acting like a dime store hood still.
Yeah.
And that don't work for me.
Yeah, I need to distance myself from you, because he doesn't want to be associated with him because it's affecting his character and stuff. And, so yeah, you see that in Sharon Stone, incredible performance.
Yep, she won the Oscar.
Yeah, she was great. She was great as a sweet.
It's the best performance she's ever given.
Oh yeah, for sure. She, when she first gets introduced, it's interesting because there's a theme throughout the whole thing that she tells men that she runs into. She says, "You're being so nice to me," and I think she tells them that because she is not used to people being nice to her, and so she doesn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. She
doesn't know how to deal with people being nice to her, and so she does stupid shit to people who are doing nice things to her. But I do have to say, she made it very clear to Rothstein that she had no romantic interest in him.
Yeah.
She made it very clear, and he was like, "Well, we could grow to love each other."
Yeah.
And, he dangled some money in her face, and then she was like, okay.
And a life, yeah.
And a life. And so she was talked into a lot of things that she did with him, and it just drove her crazy, and she looked to other substances to make her happy, and kept her relationship with James Woods. So
who was the guy she actually loved.
Yes. The real MVP of this movie is Nikki's wife. She was pretty freaking tough. Like, first of all, she was in line at the airport and she had diamonds hidden in her hair.
Yeah.
That's baller. And then she whenever the cops came to his house, she protected him. Was like, what are you doing in here? You can't be here. You know, like, she didn't just go, oh no, you know, like,
Yeah.
she was great. Also pretty much shows a lot of the glamour of Las Vegas.
Oh, I think it shows both sides. And
True.
That's part of the appeal too, is, you know, in a lot of ways, you know, Vegas is a spray painted turd.
Mhm.
And most people just see the spray paint and they don't see the turd.
Yeah.
Because they're not there long enough, or they don't go kind of outside the
strip.
So yeah, I think it kind of shows the underbelly of it too, which I find also interesting.
So I rated this movie an 83.
Okay.
It was for sure in my top 100. So I think that, yeah, great movie. If you have not seen it, please watch it. What, you have any final thoughts?
Just that I think this movie works really well in kind of a 4-movie piece with Mean Streets, Goodfellas, this movie, and The Irishman. I think you get a real broad view of different people that are in that kind of lifestyle at different points in their lives. I think it really works in that aspect. I think the way he shoots this movie feels more 70s, even though it's shot in the 90s. It has that look about it. I think every performance in this movie is truly excellent. And I just really enjoy it. Yeah,
it's a great movie. It really is. All right, if you have some comments about Casino and would like to tell us, please do so in the comments. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We always, you know, want to make sure that we're hitting the right spots with our audience. If you'd like to email us directly, please do so at ratingthelist@gmail.com. But that's it for now. I'm Jerry.
I'm Brad.
And we're Rating the List. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.